You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Most writers and radio show hosts know that to connect with your fans, you need to do more than just write books or record the latest podcasts. There are many different elements that go into forming an online platform, but there are also many hidden traps. To make matters worse, solid advice on how to survive the muddy waters is scarce. In the book Hidden Traps, I talk about some of the important issues of working with an online platform, highlighting traps that could put your physical or internet security at risk or be harmful to your reputation. Are your social media posts just links with a few disjointed words, making you look like someone who can't complete a sentence? Did your new website cost you more than you anticipated? Are you leaking your personal contact details across the web without even knowing it? Then you need Hidden Traps. Hidden Traps is now available in paperback and ebook from a variety of retailers, including Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Kobo. Visit blackwolfpublications.com for more details.
Do you need a car? Been shopping only to be turned down because of bad credit, low credit, no credit, bankruptcy, or divorce? Guess what? Today's your lucky day, because now you can buy a car, truck, or SUV, just about any vehicle. It's true. Bad credit doesn't matter. No credit doesn't matter. Bankruptcy or divorce, it just doesn't matter. As a matter of fact, your job is your ticket to your new vehicle. We're Auto Credit Express, and we've helped thousands of people just like you. Antonio H. told us, great company, got me connected, and the day I went in, I drove off in the car I wanted. 100% worth your time. Need a car? Get started now and drive off as early as today. Just text FINANCE, FINANCE, to 357-911 right now to get started. That's FINANCE, FINANCE, to 357-911. Auto financing the easy way. Text FINANCE to 357-911.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
Everyone loves liberty. Our rights come from God, not the government. So why are you letting other people tell you what's best for your healthcare? Exercise your freedom with Liberty Health Share. Liberty Health Share is a community of people who voluntarily share one another's medical costs. Liberty Health Share is founded on the idea that most people truly want to help one another. Healthcare sharing allows members to do just that as a true community that supports one another in times of need. Liberty believes people should make decisions for themselves and their families. Members are able to take back the freedom to make their own decisions about their healthcare. Freedom from guilt or doubt about how your money is used. You have the freedom to direct your healthcare, not to be dictated to by bureaucrats. Stop letting others tell you what to do and join a community of like-minded people. Exercise your freedom. Join Liberty Health Share and take back the control of your healthcare while helping those around you. Call Liberty at 855-58-LIBERTY. Again, that's 855-58-LIBERTY for more information, or you can check them out at libertyhealthshare.org. Again, that's libertyhealthshare.org.
My son was in the Army back during Desert Storm, but even then he wanted an MBA. He looked at a dozen schools, but only one offered the online education and flexibility he needed while he was in a tent in Iraq. Grantham University. Turns out that Grantham's been delivering affordable, relevant college and advanced degrees for over 65 years. Heck, if they can deliver a quality education to a soldier in a tent overseas, think about the flexibility Grantham can offer you so you can earn your degree too. It doesn't matter how complicated or full your life is. If getting a degree is on your bucket list, you'll want to do what my son did. You'll want to call Grantham. Find out how easy it is to get started on your education so you can check that college degree off your bucket list. Call Grantham right now, 800-910-1370. That's 800-910-1370. Flexible, affordable, relevant. Call 800-910-1370.
At St. Jude, a family never sees a bill at all. It's like the world has been lifted off of your shoulders.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
Sometimes writers feel lost, unsure why a passage may not be working. takes another set of eyes to help us nurture our writing into full maturity. At Black Wolf Editorial Services, we strive to enable writers to develop and grow, offering manuscript critiques and line edits through a mentoring editorial style. We also offer assistance on generating a writer's bio for your websites. Black Wolf Editorial Services, nurturing your writing into maturity. For a full list of services, visit blackwolfeditorial.com.
You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
Nation under Foo. We are coming to you live from FOOBAR Studios here on KLRN Radio, and while we're at it, we should say greetings and salutations to our new listeners and pals at Mojo 50. I am your host, the delicious and nutritious the Foo, and with me as always is your favorite Amish dork and mine, Orty Packard. Orty, how are you?
Oh, I'm so happy you survived the purge last week.
Oh my God, right? I was pretty sure I was done for. I feel like I'm done for.
we had to kill you off for dramatic effect for our Halloween show.
Yes.
But, and then you ruined it by showing up at the break. But
you kill me when
I expected you to be handing out king size bars and scaring the neighbors' kids all night long. I didn't expect you to show up. But hey, I was glad you joined us.
Yeah, after you killed me, that was great. You're a real team player there, Amish.
Yeah. Well, speaking of team players, should I go over the inside baseball of our new format and getting bumpers today?
You know what? No, actually, you probably should do the whole, hey, if you have kids, don't let them listen to this crap thing first, just in case you say something dumb.
The following program contains coarse language and adult themes. Listener discretion is advised.
Listen to how professional you sound doing that.
You know, I did briefly in college. I did do some spots for college radio when I thought I was going to be a broadcasting major before I moved on to science. So,
oh wow,
I do have my radio voice and the rule of threes and everything, so
the rule of three.
Yeah, tell him you're going to tell him, and tell him you told him. That's why in every commercial it's 3 times. You'll hear the same thing 3 times.
Ugh. No wonder it's so annoying. Actually, You know who has a radio voice was Brad last week.
Right?
You're listening to KLRN Radio. I was like, oh my God, what's that?
I had heard his podcast before, so I knew that he was very,
he's radio,
car salesman radio.
He's he's going to do those commercials about drugs. Like, if you take this, your penis will fall off. I mean, this is what he sounded like. It was so good.
He's a disclaimer guy on Viagra commercials.
We need a disclaimer guy for our Viagra commercial.
Right. Yeah, we'll get Brad to do that. The following segment bit.
Oh my God! So yeah, I guess for our live listeners, we are doing our first show that's going to be recorded for Mojo 50, and so bear with us. We're learning how we're going to do this, and our friends on Mojo 50, howdy, how are you? We'll get this straight, but tonight we're going to learn how to put our show together so it makes sense for everybody.
I got a little bit of feedback with that one, but yeah, just try not to break things, Foo. I mean, we cleaned up the whole studio after last week.
No,
Barrick drank all of your apple juice. G ate your bonbons.
G ate bonbons?
Yeah, right. It wasn't a purple smoothie.
Oh my God, it wasn't kale. Yeah, sorry.
So, how was your election?
People may not know that G is like this Adonis of health and strength, and if you ever see him on social media, ask him to show you his abs. Okay, but no, that's why it's funny that G ate bonbons. Elections, yeah, you want to talk about elections?
we might as well. They had him yesterday for us.
Oh yeah, was that what that whole thing was yesterday?
That's what all that was about yesterday. I'm just happy. The most important race I was watching was actually Virginia 5, where
erotica.
Yeah, where Dennis Riggleman beat Leslie Cockburn, and the main, or at least the big topic that got everybody's attention on social media was the Bigfoot erotica. So because Bigfoot erotica has become part of our show, I watched that race with interest.
Show? That's your thing, man. Mine's the fish porn.
Yeah, yours is the fish porn. Mine is the Bigfoot erotica. So, but yeah, so Riggleman won. Yay, Riggleman.
And that's Olivia Wilde's mama, the
actor. Yeah.
So her mom couldn't beat the Bigfoot porn guy. I mean, that's
Olivia Wilde gives me cockburn.
Okay, don't need to hear that ever again. I'm glad you did the disclaimer before we start talking about it. But yeah, no, I actually covered them. I've been covering them for months, but I covered them for work. And after about 15 hours online, I was ready to commit myself. It was so bad. But the buildup was really intense. And then finally we were there, and it was kind of like Thanksgiving dinner, where you cook and you do all this planning and you're exhausted and it's like over in 20 minutes,
Yeah, I wish it was like that for me. Because I volunteer at the polls in my precinct.
Oh, that's right. You're the poll worker.
I'm a poll worker. I'm not like a Stormy Daniels poll worker. I help people with how to vote or,
Yeah.
Anyway, so 15 hours in a multi-purpose room under a hard metal chair that every year that we do this, I forget to bring a cushion for.
Oh my God, you're old. I need my chair.
I got to bring a comfy chair. I am so old. My
butt hurts. Where's the cushion? Yeah, no, I'm the same way. I have a cushion on my chair. It is what it is.
Yeah, no, so that was, and the great, I volunteer for it. I'm happy to do it, and I get just enough money to pay for the chiropractor after I do it. From sitting in that chair all day long.
Oh, but you're a good soul. It's good that you do that because, enough of us, we're not really involved like we should be locally, politically. No. It's cool that you do that.
It's anybody can do it. Go down to your, volunteer. It's an entire day. Some, counties pay, some counties don't. And usually even when they pay, it's just a little stipend, but it's a thank you, and that's fine. I don't like it. The precinct I worked at, they bring, all the old blue hairs. They'll bring in all the food and cold cuts and brownies. And
the blue hairs,
so like you said, it is kind of like Thanksgiving potluck where everybody brings in a thing.
Yeah,
so.
Well, the blue hairs love you. The silver sirens, that's my husband.
My silver sirens.
The silver sirens. I like him too.
Yeah.
Yep. I get it. But it was an interesting day, wasn't it? It was full of surprises. Not really.
Well, I mean, one of the big surprises was Dennis Hoff winning state assembly. He had been dead for several weeks, and he won in a landslide.
Woo! For libertarians and their, poorhouses. Woo! Yeah. That's cool though. But what I thought what was the most interesting was Indiana with Braun.
Yeah.
Losing the big Democratic, whatever he was. And then you've got Gillum who lost, hopefully, in Florida because now Bill Nelson's calling for a recount. Okay, I got to Bill Nelson, does he look like Skeletor from He-Man, or is that just me?
No, he totally does, but without the personality.
He scares the hell out of me. It's like really bad Botox, or the Halloween mask did not come off.
He's kind of a cross between the Aliens and They Live, and when Max von Sydow played the devil in Needful Things.
Oh, that's terrifying. You're right. And
right?
I know what you're talking about. That's what's terrifying, even worse. But no, there was that big one. Indiana, of course, Marsha Blackburn, first woman senator out of Tennessee. No one's talking about that because she's got the wrong R by her vagina. Oh, my God. Do not make a vagina joke on Twitter ever, just so you know.
Well,
you could, but I don't think you have one.
Your vagina's all over the place on Twitter.
My vagina is all over Twitter, and it's not in a good way. Well, actually, it was kind of funny because today, now that the Republicans, of course, kept the Senate, hallelujah, and basically we knew we were going to lose the House. No one was all that shocked about the House. But now all of these women on the left and men are blaming white women for what happened to Republicans. So it's you white guys are off the hook here now, finally.
I said it a long time ago, and my followers on Twitter, they'll know that once an election doesn't go the way that the temper tantrum left wants it, white women will be the next ones next to white men as the demons. So now we're all white devils now.
Well, but
you have no
worse.
place. You have no place on the sock just food pyramid of oppression anymore.
We are worse than you, though, because we empower you, and we're so docile, and we're so, we obey so well that we are basically enabling you evil white men to ruin the country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
How do you like that? Hey, you know what?
You know what?
Doing
I
our part.
Yeah. Your vagina's doing its part.
My vagina is doing its part for America. God bless America. But no, basically what I did was I decided that I was going to make a joke about my racist vagina because, apparently it's my vagina's fault that Republicans kept the House. Republicans kept the Senate. Boy, I'm on it, aren't I? And that went really well. And now there's all these people doing famous quotes with the word vagina in it. And what's ironic about the whole vagina thing is I used to do a show on another network, and I got in trouble for saying vagina too much.
I remember you. Yeah.
Yeah. So this has been really funny.
So some big air quote conservative voice has given you no end of grief for that.
Yeah, he did not approve of me using the word vagina. He also didn't like us calling the Koch brothers the Koch brothers. He didn't think that was funny either. But we thought it was funny. Yeah. Yeah. But anyway, my vagina is all over Twitter because I made a joke about how it's my fault, and now there's all these great quotes about vaginas. So
yeah, you're getting a lot of patriot quotes about vagina.
I am. Ask not what your vagina can do for your country, but what you can do for your vagina. Things like that. I have but one vagina to give for my country. Yeah.
One small step for man, one giant leap for Foo's vagina.
Not Foo's vagina, just vagina. Thank you.
Okay.
And then there was another one about let loose the vaginas of war or something. It's been really good.
Cry havoc and let slip. Yeah.
There it is. Cry havoc and let the vaginas of war something or other. It's been a lot of fun. So this is what elections have boiled down to: is talk about how it's my fault that basically the Republicans did what they were supposed to do.
Where she is now, I can only guess, 'cause it's gone, daddy gone, love is gone, it's gone.
My son was in the Army back during Desert Storm, but even then he wanted an MBA. He looked at a dozen schools, but only one offered the online education and flexibility he needed while he was in a tent in Iraq. Grantham University. Turns out that Grantham's been delivering affordable, relevant college and advanced degrees for over 65 years. Heck, if they can deliver a quality education to a soldier in a tent overseas, think about the flexibility Grantham can offer you so you can earn your degree too. It doesn't matter how complicated or full your life is. If getting a degree is on your bucket list, you'll want to do what my son did. You'll want to call Grantham. Find out how easy it is to get started on your education so you can check that college degree off your bucket list. Call Grantham right now. 800-910-1370. That's 800-910-1370. Flexible, affordable, relevant. Call 800-910-1370.
Attention business owners and independent contractors. This is a money-saving message from Tax Mediation Services. If your business owes $20,000 or more in taxes, we can help you today, right now. Listen, dealing with the IRS is no picnic. It's an intimidating and extremely stressful process, and you don't want to go it alone. Our attorneys know every law, every tax break, and every possible opportunity to help you resolve and reduce your tax debt. And if you owe more than $20,000, you may be at the top of their hit list. So don't take your tax debt lightly, because it will not go away on its own. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, your home, and even shut down your business. Call our tax experts today at 1-800-783-0810 and let us deal with the IRS while you focus on your business. That's 1-800-783-0810. Again, that's 800-783-0810.
Daddy gone, love is gone, it's gone, daddy gone, love is gone, it's gone, daddy gone, love is gone, it's gone, daddy gone, love is gone away.
And welcome back. Hey, that was a quick little break, wasn't it?
That was.
It worked though, because we were talking about vagina, and then it cut out after I said the word vagina. It was really funny.
Yes, that was God's way of telling you to stop.
I can't help it because now I want to say it because now I'm not supposed to. So, yeah, you know me.
But, speaking of vaginas, one of the things I liked about yesterday, too, Obama was 0-4 for the senators and governors that he campaigned for.
Oh, that's right.
Not a single one of them won. And every red state Dem that voted against Kavanaugh lost.
That's what you get, bitches.
So yeah.
Well, that was funny, too. And then, of course, Jake Tapper was trying to spin the whole thing as, well, this is terrible for Trump because the House is going to subpoena him and make his life a living hell. And if they do that for 2 years, they're basically handing us the House in 2020. They have got to get something done. Otherwise, they're going to lose their jobs again. And, of course, if you look back, historically, when one party wins the presidency, the other party does well in the midterm. And, of course, it wasn't fun to lose. What did we lose? 30 seats in the House?
Yeah, but,
I can't remember.
It wasn't as big of a bloodbath to make it a blue wave. It was kind of what was expected.
You have to look at when Obama, in 2010, he lost 63 seats.
Yeah, that was that was a trouncing. And he kept losing them every 2 years after.
Oh, yeah. What is it? He lost something like 1,000 seats while he was president. So
yeah, over 10 years nationwide, they lost 1,000 seats on the federal and state level.
Yeah, and governors were a big one, too. And there were some governors who lost seats. Poor Scott Walker. Man, that is heartbreaking.
I think a lot of that just had to do – it was mentioned in, one of our DM rooms today, too, that it's just Walker fatigue. And I can get that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't know why he ran for a third term anyway, but it sucks to see him lose because what's going to happen is then it's going to we showed Scott Walker. But they forget the dude won like 3 times in 4 years.
Yeah, especially a recall.
Yeah, hello.
So, I mean,
he kicked their asses several times. So, while they're all
Ray Davis didn't win a recall.
Oh, my God. So, I mean, ultimately, at the end of the day, it really was, there was no blue wave.
Nope.
There was no huge surprises. And I tell you what, though, Ted Cruz, I was biting my nails.
That shouldn't have been that close. And Texas really needs to get their shit in order because, no, I mean, seriously, DFW just had their slate of GOP judges wiped clean. Most of them got bumped. So, Texas needs to stop as Musket puts it, this inner city progressive creep. They need to stop that into the suburbs. They got to get the Karens out there, and they got to get the Karens back in the GOP.
I'm a Karen. I had no idea I was a Karen.
You're not a Karen. You got Karen tendencies, but you don't completely fill out the whole Karen.
I wear leggings with knee-high boots, and I wear cashmere throws over tank tops. I have a bobbed haircut. I'm a Karen.
This was a conversation, DM. One of the things I noticed at the polls yesterday was that all Karens and those future Karens all had the same look of knee-high black or gray boots, black leggings, tank top, and a cardigan.
Yes. I'm a Karen.
I kept waiting for whatever they came up to the booth to get their ballot from me was for them to say, I would like to speak to the manager.
That's so me. See, I'm a Karen. I really am. And I had no idea until you explained all that to me, and now I know, and I'm really depressed about it. Thanks for that.
Okay.
It's all your fault, man.
I'm here to help,
Are you here to help? Hold on. I actually even put down some notes tonight. I'm not sure I have everything down I want to talk about. Oh, we had to talk about Acosta, but we can do that after our next break because that's the whole segment. Good old Acosta.
So you actually have notes, but now you're going to pause the show for us to review your notes.
Yeah, I have to because I'm too old to remember what I wrote, man. I'm getting to that point in my life where I make lists for lists.
Well, today was the garbage takes of everything that I expected to see. I mean,
so
I knew it was going to be bad, but between popular elections for the House and Senate. I don't know who put this shit into the liberal water supply.
Ezra Klein was talking about it. He was the first one at Vox, of course. He was the first one I saw saying it.
Yeah, Vox, of course. But,
of course.
And then you got Max Boot lamenting that moderate Republicans are now gone from the House after 2 months of him and Tom Nichols saying we have to vote straight blue to show, because Orange Man bad.
Yeah, he's such an asshole. He makes me insane.
Max Boot is just streaking into the void. Senpai, notice me.
Well, it's always something with him. He's okay. So first he deserts the GOP. And he writes about how horrible and bigoted and racist we all are. Then he goes over to the left. He's like, hey, guys, I'm your new friend. They're like, hey, screw you. You like war. So they don't like him either. So then he complains he has no friends.
Right.
So this is who he is. And then, yeah, he's complaining that the moderates are gone. Hey, dumbass, you've been telling people to vote for Democrats for 6 months.
Yeah.
What do you expect is going to happen when you do that? So dumb. The whole thing was stupid. And then Tom Nichols yesterday was talking about how he felt more comfortable with Democrats being in charge because they are going to take better care of the rule of law and the Constitution.
Apparently, Tom Nichols suffered a traumatic brain injury that put him to sleep for 8 years of the Obama administration.
Get it, you know? He used to be such a bright dude. Like, he was one of my favorites. And he's talking about Democrats being better about the Constitution. I was like, are you eating paint chips and not telling people what's going on?
Right.
It's so bad. But today's been worse. The hot takes today have all been about how women have ruined the country, white women have ruined the country, that white women are a faction that the conservatives now are pandering to but not really taking care of. They're promising us security, but they're not doing it. Then, of course, Samantha Bee's writer, Trayvon Free, was talking about how Trayvon is real interesting. If you actually look at his tweets, he's got lots of anti-Semitic tweets and anti-women tweets, and he writes for Samantha Bee. It's been a lot of fun today out there.
Yeah, he does. He also does The Daily Show.
He won an Emmy for his writing on The Daily Show, actually.
Yeah.
That tells you a lot about Hollywood, doesn't it? Right there. Yeah. Funny stuff. Yeah.
But if we say George Soros, we're anti-Semites.
Oh, of course. If you talk about the George Soros maybe funding these groups, and of course you're an anti-Semitic, racist, bigot, Nazi, who knows at this point anymore. Before I came on the show, I had a woman telling me that because I made fun of the vagina thing that I was racist. I was like, you're that's the whole point of the joke, dummy. That, hello.
They're all pink inside.
Hey, no, not good. We don't.
Well, we're changing things because we're on Mojo 5.0 now?
No, but that. I would have told you to knock that off even before Mojo 5.0 because, come on. No, Rick made that
You
joke
didn't tell
earlier.
me to knock it off on break. Just saying.
I told you on break. Nobody's listening to you.
I'll admit, I stole that joke from Rick during the break. So.
Yeah, you stole that joke. But you know what? It worked, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I give up. But today has been full of hot takes and dumb takes and stupid takes and worse than usual. So. Yeah,
well, you had K-File blaming the Green Party for Kristen Sinema, whatever her name is. Sinema. Because, for her loss in Arizona, she lost by 15,000 votes and the Green Party got 40. The funny thing about that is she used to be Green Party.
Oh, that's right. She's a lunatic, and he blocked me months ago because I made him mad making fun of CNN.
Yeah, all you have to do is mention them doxing that kid.
He was a young man. Oliver Darcy also blocked me. CNN hates me. Boo-hoo, I'm breaking up about it.
We'll cover CNN after the break because lots of stuff went on with CNN today.
Lots of fun with CNN today. I love that kind of stuff with CNN today. Yeah. But, we're heading to break. We'll be back, guys. Hang there.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control over your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank account, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problems now by calling the experts at Tax Mediation Services and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. Tax Mediation Services is accredited by the Better Business Bureau. Call now for a free case review and a price protection guaranteed quote.
Call Tax Mediation Services now at 800-610-9050. That's 800-610-9050. 800-610-9050.
Beep, beep. Hey, back from break. Thanks for sitting there and listening and waiting for us. And I had to sing that part because I love that part of that song. You're
Isn't
here
that a
with
great
FOOBAR.
song?
I love that song. It's a good song.
Yeah. So I think we need to take a minute to explain to everybody what's going on who came in late, and just so that they understand why we all of a sudden have breaks and everything, and what's with the new format. Okay, so with us being on Mojo 50, we're going to have 3 breaks during the show. We just had the second one. The breaks are going to be longer on Mojo 50 than they are that we're doing them. So at the end of our live show, when we do our final outro, there will be 5 minutes of additional content for the people who listen on KLRN and who join us in chat and live, where you'll have the bonus foo, where we're still kicking around what we're going to do with that. We may do douchebag of the week. You know what? I'll do a poll after the show, and we'll see what you guys want us to do with that extra 5 minutes of the show at the end.
Yeah, because honestly, a big part of why this show works is, besides the Amish guy and the talent over here, is that you guys are involved. And that's always been part of Foo. Even long ago, before these guys, when Rick was just with me, or even before Rick, that's always been part of the show, is I make you guys do my job for me, so I don't have to do all the work. Plus, you're a part of what we're doing, so the show belongs to all of us. Isn't that fabulous? Yes, indeed.
Did you just call yourself the talent?
I am the talent.
I just had that Groundhog Day.
I know, it's a joke. I'm
Keep
so
the talent
not the
happy.
talent. I'm so not the talent. That's why it's so funny. Yeah, I just talk a lot of shit, and for some reason people pay attention to me. I have no idea why. But before the break, we were talking about CNN.
Yes. Nice segue.
Yes, thank you. Look at me, all professional. I sound like
we did
Brad.
So before we came on the air, we got notification that Jim Acosta lost his press credentials for his little temper tantrum slap fight with a White House staffer today.
He's such a doorknob. My God. It's like, what was it? 2 weeks ago, he got caught sending a dirty DM or a foul DM to some former Melania Trump staffer.
Yeah.
I mean, the dude is totally unstable. He is constantly crying about how mean people are to him. His whole career is become poor me versus I'm a journalist, or I'm even a pundit. I mean, we get, like, Sean Hannity, they were having a conniption fit because Sean Hannity was in Missouri with Trump, and he was, like, giving high fives to people, and he's all excited. I'm like, yeah, dumbass, he's a pundit. He's never said, hey, I'm totally objective. He said, hey, vote for Trump. We know who Sean Hannity is. Nobody thinks he's going to be up there doing investigative journalism. That's not what he does. But Jim tries to tell us that's what he is. Jim's like, I'm objective. I do the news. No, dumbass. You're an actor at this point. You're entertainment, and we laugh at you all the time.
As much as I do not like Sean Hannity, and I have made that very clear.
No.
But as much as I don't like him, he has never claimed to be a reporter or a journalist. He has always been an opinion guy. And unfortunately, people can't tell the difference. It's like Bill O'Reilly. When he was with Investigative Reports, he was an investigative guy. When he went to Fox, he became a commentary guy. But people weren't able to make that distinction.
Well, but that's not all people's fault. Some of that is the media. Because you've got, Jim Acosta trying to act like he's this great reporter. And he's not. He is a totally biased, unobjective douche nozzle who thinks that he's somehow above everybody and we should kiss his little First Amendment ass. And that's not how it works.
Well, the first rule of journalism is to not become the story.
Hello.
And
even I know that. I mean,
yeah, I mean, you won't even write yourself into Twitchies. So
no, we're not. Well, we try not to because that makes us look like we're self-promoting and blah blah blah. And
right, but when Jim Acosta trends on Twitter,
that was great.
You have become the story,
mm-hmm.
and he does it. And today wasn't the first day. It happens
all the time.
So goddamn always.
Well,
every time Acosta opens his mouth. He said we've got Acosta memes coming up in the chat now, which is great.
God love the chat for that.
I love the chat.
I know you love our chat. They love you, so of
Well,
course
yeah,
you love
suck.
them. Yeah, whatever.
But-
they still suck, but whatever. That's funny.
And then the communications director for CNN came out today defending Acosta.
I saw that.
I mean, that is. I'm old enough to remember when CNN was the first cable network, news network, and they were on it. It was like the riots, Tiananmen Square.
News.
Everybody would turn to CNN, and we wouldn't change the channel for 4 fucking days.
No, because it's news.
Yeah, and I mean, even Dennis Leary made jokes about it in his old stand-up bit where, with the first Iraq war, he wouldn't leave the house. He'd be sitting there eating raw red meat with an erection watching the war on live TV because of CNN.
Because that's what they were supposed to do.
Right. And then it changed. And I think it changed with that missing Malaysian airliner.
It was before then. It was before
then, but they got really bad then.
They stopped trying to pretend before then. But I think when it really turned, when everything really changed, was when W was president. They just couldn't deal with a Republican. And I just think it got bigger. And then, of course, we have Obama. And they figure out, we love this guy. He's so hip and cool. And we're going to try and make him look good. And then they got so spoiled with that. They started like the clicks and the taps and, hey, this is a lot of money. And then they thought by doing the same thing with Trump, but the opposite, that they would stop him and help Hillary, and they elected him. So they've lost their damn minds at this point. They've given up. So what's happening with Acosta is what's happening with CNN. Oliver Darcy's not quite as batshit as Jim Acosta, but he does a lot of stupid things. Oliver was targeting Alex Jones. Now, I'm not a fan of Alex Jones. I think the dude is a lunatic, but he has every right to be on Twitter just like anybody else. But they targeted him. They went after him on YouTube. They went after him on Facebook. And this is CNN. You talk about Andrew Kaczynski or whatever. He blocked me because we made fun of him for doxing people.
Yeah.
They have stopped even trying. Was it Chris Chaliza, tells us that they don't pick a side. But, we call bullshit because they pick a side every day. And today... Chriszilla. Today, Acosta proved that. He put his hands on a woman.
Well, and here's the thing. You were talking about how Oliver Darcy isn't that bad. I think in many ways he's worse because you have Oliver Darcy. Bad. Well, you have Oliver Darcy. You have S.E. Cupp. You have all these people who, when they were with other networks,
they were sane.
Yeah, Oliver Darcy at the Blaze and S.E. Cupp on Red Eye, they were fucking normal. And then I don't know if it's in the water, if there's something in the water that's turning the commentators. I don't know, but just bad.
It is bad.
And I think it's worse because it shows that everybody who goes to CNN is a fucking sellout.
Well, but you know what? It's not just CNN. I mean, you get into these different outlets and they start making money. And I mean, to be honest, it's hard to call someone a sellout when they're trying to do their career. We get that, but you've got to have a balance. And what's interesting in being part of Twitchy, there's my little plug for Twitchy, we actually get a lot of credit from normal people who aren't, bunt cakes. We get a lot of credit because we do actually try and go both. We try and cover it both ways. We did that today even. One of our editors talked about how Trump was not exactly supportive of the Republicans who lost last night. He didn't have a whole lot of love for the losers, and that was kind of a big deal. But you don't see that being covered like by Breitbart. So, I mean, we try, but I'm not going to pretend that we're not biased because we are. I mean, all I do is talk smack about how dumb leftists are all day.
Yeah, and from the chat, NBC is actually worse than CNN on many levels, especially when you look at that whole Kavanaugh situation where they had the text. They knew that there were questionable claims and they went with the stories anyway.
Well, it's like Ronan Farrow. I mean, they all knew, and Jane Mayer, she's one of them. Jane was all
talking. Jane, you ignorant slut.
Jane was talking smack last night because they were talking about how there was no Kavanaugh effect. Ha ha! Everyone's wrong. And then today,
that tweet aged well.
It really didn't. And so these people have basically destroyed their careers and their reputations. NBC actually had texts that proved that Kavanaugh had not lied, that these people were like, well, we don't want to get dragged into this, and we weren't there, and we don't know. And they knew all this. They sat on that. They sat on that right before the vote.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, I mean, you're right, NBC is worse because at least with CNN, we kind of expect them to be schmucks. I mean, look at Brian Stelter. You look at Tater. I mean, you look at who they are, and this doesn't surprise you. But NBC is supposed to be better, but they're not. ABC isn't any better either. I was starting to kind of compile headlines right before the midterms, and I was like, hey guys, if you see an anti-Trump headline out there talking about the election, please send it my way, which was really dumb. It's almost dumber than talking about a vagina on Twitter, because I got a bazillion of these headlines, and they were ridiculous. From ABC, it was just like, hey, look at all the different women who are gay who are running as Democrats, and there's hardly anybody running as Republicans, and Trump is pushing this false apartheid or apocalyptic, or it was just ridiculous, the drama in these headlines. And I tried to compile like the worst 10. Forget it. Because there were so many damn headlines. I'm like, okay, I'm going to add them as the day goes. But this is all they do. This is not reporting news.
No, it's just all they do is commentary now. I mean, the actual news reporting, even on your local news, has gotten to be such a small segment of the actual news. And then the rest of it is commentary. And it's like, well, one of the news outlets that I'm in the market for, LA5. You saw their one reporter, their lifestyle reporter, who also writes for the LA Times, get drug about his, flyover states need to just shut up. Why,
Oh yeah.
It was just that's total contempt for anybody who, doesn't live in a major city, and he got drugged bad. But his job is commentary now. He's not like, he used to be the Consumer Reports guy, but now he's just doing commentary.
Well, and that's the thing. As long as they're honest, I don't care. Hey, if you're a pundit, great. If you do commentary, great. But don't tell me you're a reporter. And what's funny is, like, with all of us on Twitchy, a lot of us will get well, you're not much of a reporter. And we're like, we never claim to be reporters. I mean, we're not. That's not what we do.
You're an aggregate site for Twitter.
We make fun of people. I mean, let's be honest. I make fun of. That's not fair. Some of the editors are great. They do news. They totally do much better than I do. I don't do news. I make fun of people and talk shit, and that's
You're
fine.
the lifestyle reporter.
I'm the lifestyle reporter. I'm the butthole on the staff. That is what we do. But at least we're honest about it. We're not trying to tell people that we're reporters and we're important and we protect the First Amendment. Like, Jim Acosta is so full of shit. I mean, do you remember that article? It was him and April Ryan and some other reporter, and they talked about how dangerous it is to cover President Trump and how every
the
day is
firefighters.
Oh my God! And they had to illustrate Jim's pretty socks in the art. It was Vanity Fair or something.
It had to be a Vanity Fair. Oh, speaking of April Ryan, she got told to sit down today.
Of course, I'm glad.
While Acosta was pushing the, whatever,
putting his hands on
doing his thing,
Uh-huh.
she was standing up, shouting out her question, and Trump said, "Sit down. You're being rude."
But you know what's going to happen now? Trump is a sexist. Trump is racist. It's all about that because, she is a Black American female. So, of course, he's going to be a racist, sexist pig now.
She ticks off all those boxes. Why do we even know her name? We should just know her as African American female reporter.
Oh, it's like the gal who won the Native American lesbian MMA fighter.
Openly gay Native American MMA fighter.
I don't know her name.
Why does she need a name?
I don't know her name. All I can tell you is, hey, that Native American lesbian MMA fighter won.
No, someone replied to my tweet about that, and they did the best Doctor Who references that we're the thin, fat, gay, married Anglican Marines. Why would we need a name?
I couldn't tell. If I saw her picture, I'd know who she is, but I couldn't tell you her name. It's kind of like the openly gay mayor in Florida, the gal who won there. Couldn't tell you her name, but I know an openly gay female won in Florida.
It ticks off the ticks off the boxes.
Someone just called. It's not Liz Warren. Actually, a real Native American woman won. And I think she's like the first.
Someone made that distinction too. Whenever anybody said, "Well, yeah, she's the first Native American woman to win Congress," they said, "What about Liz Warren?" And they said, "Well, she's a senator."
Are you serious? Oh my God! People are so
all right, we're going into our last break here.
Are we?
We are. Are you not getting our notification? Are you not getting the notification?
I'm not paying attention. I'm not good at this. So you have to babysit. No, I'm kidding. I see it. I just can't tell. All right, we're going to break, guys. We'll be right back. Stay put.
Man sleeps by a campfire under the bridge. The highway patrol chopper coming up over the ridge.
And we're back. Wow, that is an intense bumper.
Right.
Wow. I mean, I knew it was Rage, but I'm like, holy crap, that is intense.
Nice. Yeah.
We are so intense. The Go Daddy Go thing was my favorite, I think.
Yeah, that's a good one, too. But you can't beat the Ferris Bueller's Day Off song.
You can. That
really
was good, too. So,
Yeah.
and hey, guys, if you have ideas on our bumpers, you might as well send them. We might be able to accommodate depending on the week. Since you have to listen to them, too, why not? We'll make you part of that as well. Hey, look, we can make him do our job again. I'm sure Rick is happy with me.
I was gonna say just have them email, just have them email me at Rick at KLRN Radio. That way I can just do all the work because that's what I do already anyway. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
just make Rick do it.
Yeah.
Rick is
So-
our producer. We love Rick.
I got to tell this. You want to do sessions, or can I tell a story?
You tell a story because I'm good. I have water.
Okay, so 2 weeks ago, we get this Mojo 50 thing where we're going to be doing it, and Rick says, hey, guys, come up with some bumper music. 10 a.m. this morning, my time, so 10 hours before show. Rick says, so did you guys come up with any bumper music? I said, yeah, I got mine. Silence from Sam. Y'all think that it's 1%er, bonbons and yachts and everything working with Foo. Let me tell you a little something about Rick and I here. So we're 90 minutes to show.
Boo-hoo, crybaby.
And Rick says, so bumpers, guys. And Foo's like, well, yeah, I looked on the ASCAP site, but I couldn't figure out how to search it. I just got articles. And in her defense, it does mostly articles when you put it in search, unless you go to
where Rick told
the repository.
me to go. Where Rick told me to go. So we had to give Rick,
So 90 minutes before show, I'm scanning ASCAP to find out what songs we can actually use for bumpers. And Sam's giving me, try this song. That's the album title. Could you be more specific? So just to give you a little inside baseball of how organized we are as a show.
Well, see, that's not, you guys are organized. I'm not. I'm like organized chaos, but it works for me. My husband's it's like the same way. My husband is very organized, and he's very, he's got like a plan, and he's very detail oriented, and I have shit everywhere. And we've been married almost 20 years, so he puts up with that. But it is part of my charm, and lucky you guys, you get to work with me in that charm.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Sessions got fired today.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that about me with our listeners. And yes, Sessions got fired today. That was, actually, he was asked to resign.
Well, yeah, it was.
He was asked to resign, and he said, "Yes, I'll resign."
He has been promoted to customer.
But you know what's going to be great is he's going to go back and he's going to run against Doug. What's his name? Jones.
Doug Jones. The ghost of Doug Jones.
He's going to get his seat back, and it's a good thing, all things considered. And, I don't think he really liked doing it anyway.
Yeah. Probably not. I mean, it's a
thankless job, man. Like being president.
Here's the thing. One of Trump's agendas is going to be sentencing reform.
Sure.
And he's never going to get that with Sessions. Legalizing marijuana. You're never going to get that with Sessions. So, I can kind of see it as we got through the midterms. He did his 2 years, and then, goodbye. He's going to get an AG in who's going to,
I mean, and that is, okay, so don't throw things at me, but that is like the one thing, if Beto had won, that would mean Ted Cruz would be available. And can you imagine Attorney General Ted Cruz? Oh my God, this country would implode.
Yeah, okay. This is one of the things I see it a lot on Twitter, and I just want to put a stop to it right now. If you see a good senator or House of Representatives, and somebody is talking about putting him on the Supreme Court or putting him into the executive, shut them the fuck up. Okay? No, we don't know. We don't need. Let them complete their term and then say, hey, you know what, Sessions, you got. You retired as your senator. How would you like to be my attorney general? And that way we don't get fuckery in Alabama where you got.
I know more. But here's my point is if he had lost, he'd been done. And then he could have been attorney general.
This is what, yes.
Obama would not have been worth that. I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's not worth it, but still.
But there you go. I mean, those are the kind of things I think about. Well, because I was a little worried last night. I got to be honest. I was far
Why?
more
Because
worried.
you were looking when there was
Actually,
like
no.
7% of the vote in? I mean, come on. They counted all the blue districts first, obviously. They called it with like
Well-
25% left.
But Cruz only beat him by a couple 100,000 votes. And
Again,
Texas,
Karens, get your shit together in the suburbs of Texas.
that's not a whole lot of. I mean, that's a little too close for comfort. He
speaking
should
of
have
suburbs-
blown him out.
Speaking of suburbs, Oklahoma District 5 flipped blue for like the first time since like the 60s.
Yeah, way to go
This
there.
is what Musket was talking about. It's urban creep into the suburbs.
Yeah. So, you know.
Karens, get your shit together. Vote with your vagina and vote red.
But here's the thing, too. Like in Virginia, VA7 was a big deal, and Dave Bratt lost. My son calls the gal who won Scamburger, not Spanburger. He calls her Scamburger. And I swear to God I didn't tell him to do that. Oh, my God. And that was also yesterday. So my kids didn't have school Monday or Tuesday because they had, like, teachers' meetings and whatever. But he had his friend over. They were playing. My son's 11. And we've made a lot of jokes about what I do for a living. And it's always, hey, Mom, I own the libs for a living. Well, anyway, they're walking by my office. They're going to go out and play football. And he's like, hey, your mom works from home. What does she do? And my son goes, oh, my mom owns the libs. God. So he's going to go home and say, hey, Mom, what does that mean? And then they're going to come back over again.
You're not allowed to play with that woman anymore.
She is evil. She's a Nazi, racist, bigoted vagina person. It is so dumb. And I think that's what's so frustrating for so many people. Is they say these horrible things, and they're just not true.
Dean Cain was talking about that today on Twitter, too. There was some actress that, he thought they got along just fine. And she suddenly blocked him.
Really?
Yeah. So it was either because he almost got into a fist fight with Tom Arnold, whatever. It obviously has to do with the fact that he's not part of the usual Hollywood progressive, whatever. So.
Well, yeah, Superman, he's fly. He is so fine. Sorry, I had to throw that out there. Yeah. I'm a chick, man. What are you going to do? But it's true. I mean, there's this whole idea that if you vote a certain way, you're a bad person. There were these idiots last night on the election saying, how can parts of this country be so stupid to vote for Republicans? I'm just like, holy shit, get out of the house. You got to talk to more people. Because I don't believe they really know who we are. I had some idiot sending me stuff about how I'm a Christian conservative. I'm going to block him because he's sending me all this crap. I'm like, I'm a Catholic. I don't care what you got to say. I mean, there's not this. They have this idea in their heads, in their small little warped heads, that we are a certain type of person that we're not. And
it's like I always say on social media, pray the right never becomes what you accuse us of being.
Holy shit, because you're all going to be in trouble.
You're going to be dead.
I mean, we're so bloodthirsty, and we're Nazis, and we're racists, and we're Islamophobes, and we hate gay people.
And gun-toting.
If we were everything they say we are, they would be in deep shit.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest. And then
it's going to turn America into an ethno-state. Okay.
Then they tried to tell me that there are more liberals than there are conservatives. And I just said, yeah, there's more dumb people than smart people. You're probably right. I just, at this point, that's what it feels like. It feels like they know so little about so much. Hello, Reagan.
Right.
It's impossible to have a conversation with them.
Well, and a lot of that has to do with, one, conservatives are too busy working. They just keep their mouth shut. And two, in states like California, I'm amazed that this hasn't come up as voter disenfranchisement, because now with our two-party thing, California being the hell of unintended consequences, right, with the top two from the primaries, you had two Democrats in senator and in lieutenant general or a lieutenant governor. Mm-hmm. That's I can see a lot of Republicans just not going out to vote.
Why bother?
Yeah.
Why bother?
With third party, Libertarian can't be on the general ballot. Green Party can't be on the general ballot. And I thought about this yesterday while I was working the polls. There would have been nothing in the world that would have stopped Kevin DeLeon 3 weeks ago from dropping out and making Feinstein the uncontested, senator.
But that was what was interesting, is there were some people who were saying, who were in your state, who were like, I voted for Feinstein because at least she's not entirely crazy.
Right.
But they're Republicans. That's all they can do. And I was heartbroken for them. I mean, it sucks in a purple state like Virginia. I'm sorry. I got spoiled being in Wyoming, where a thing was, everything's red, everyone's conservative, and nobody screws around. And boy, it is really hard being in a purple state. So I can't imagine being in a blue state.
It's not easy. It's not easy being blue.
Yeah,
anyway, Foo, where can people find you?
Where can people find me? So here's what we're going to do, guys. So just remember, we're going to sign off to our good new friends at Mojo 50, and then we're going to come back on the air, and we're going to have another 5 minutes of live content just for KLRN. Now, guys at Mojo 50, if you want to hear this content because it's totally rad, you have to come listen to us live on Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. on KLRN Radio. See how
or
this
6
works?
p.m. if you're on the West Coast.
You and your times and stuff. But no, actually, if you want to find me, you can find me at Twitter at POLITIBUNNY. That's Polita Money. I also write for a little site called Twitchy.com. And Amish, where can people find you?
Well, they can find me. Thank you for asking, Foo.
Hey, look how nice I am.
They can find me on Twitter as at Ordy Packard, ORDYPACKARD, or they can find me on Minds.com at Ordy Packard as well. And they can find me every Wednesday night here on KLRN Radio with you.
Or they can find you on the donkey farm, right?
Or on the donkey farm.
That works, right? They're going to have questions about the donkey farm, Mojo. We're going to have to explain your whole donkey thing eventually. Because
Right.
they're going to wonder what the hell we're talking about. Why are conservatives talking about donkeys?
Yeah, well, if you and Mom didn't leave me on the donkey farm and the...
Donkeys are jackasses. I guess that works.
That is a waste of good milk, chat.
I don't want to know what they're talking about in the chat. So
You can't make butter without milk, and that is a waste of good milk.
I don't. All right, we're out here, guys. Talk to you next week.
All right.
Are we done? Are we back?
Yeah, we're done. Now we're in the bonus Foo.
Is this bonus food? Is that what we're going to call this?
Yeah.
Bonus food. Okay, that works for me.
So just to put bonus Foo, you've stepped in the bonus Foo.
You were in the foo, the foo goo. I don't know. Foo rhymes with so many. Yeah, you do what you want. We're good.
Yeah.
Are you guys still with us? Hey, that was so. Thank you for bearing with us. We promise we will get better at doing that.
Yeah, we're just not used to commercial breaks, and we're working on it, guys. We want to thank you for hanging with us and chat being as strong as it's ever been, even with commercials now. But you won't forget that number for Viagra now.
You know what? You will not, and you will remember Viagra when you're owning the libs.
Yeah.
That's my new thing. I'm owning the libs. I'm going to put that on my resume.
I thought it was already on your bio.
It's not. Well, can't remember. Is it on my bio? Crap, I may have to add it.
I think it was the Queen of Owning Libs or some shit like that. Yeah.
Oh, I'm the patron saint of owning libs.
Patron saint of owning libs.
That's what it is.
You went back to Twitter to see what wreck your vagina mentions were, didn't you?
No, I have not. I'm trying not to look at my wrecked vagina mentions.
Foo-doo. I like that.
With the first
spelling. Foo-doo. Foo fart do.
Foo-doo.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's fancy stuff there. But no, we have to figure out what we can do here. I think the douchebags works.
Hey, we could do the douchebags. We'll just do one douchebag a week, the ultimate douchebag of the week. And you guys have to promise us. We're going to put a poll up every week.
But
and you have to promise us you don't vote the same people every damn week.
It can't be Jim Acosta every week.
Right.
But that's pretty funny.
Yeah, but he is the top douchebag this week.
Oh, totally. I didn't even have to have a poll to say Jim Acosta is this week's douchebag because you know what? I read a lot of crazy shit on Twitter, and I get paid for that, which is sad. But that is true. I'm reading this stuff, and I see a lot of horrible things. But what Jim Acosta did today with Trump, and Trump even said, "Hey, you let me run the country. You do what you need to do." Right. And you could tell it was getting bad, like it was getting blown up, and the aide was just doing her job. Right. I have never seen a reporter behave that way.
Well, not like if they didn't come from InfoWars or anything. So,
even InfoWars. Have you ever seen, Alex Jones doesn't really count because, the guy's a lunatic. Yeah. But the reporters, like, what is his name? Prison Planet, whatever his name is. I've never seen him throw this was bad. And this is CNN. And they defended it. They should have put him on leave immediately.
You would think so. But you know what? It doesn't matter. They're just going to give him his own fucking show. And
if this had been Fox and it was Obama and the Fox reporter put his...
Oh, yeah. If James Rosen had done it when he was in the White House press pool, oh, God, yeah, they would have lost their ever-loving minds.
There'd be buildings on fire and people in the streets, and he'd have lost his job or he'd be on leave.
So it would have been like any other day during the Obama administration.
Yeah, basically. But that's kind of like with this Trayvon Free guy or whatever, Today Talking. His tweet was basically that black women voted 95% for Beto, and white women do what white women did what white women do. Imagine if a white guy had said, white women voted for Cruz and black women did what black women do. People would have lost their ever-loving minds about how racist that was.
So speaking of that, you remember that guy who was a university professor that was big on white genocide? All white people need to die. He was a huge Castro and Che fan.
Didn't he lose his job?
I know you wrote about it.
He lost his job, right? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so he was in there today talking about how white women, were voting for Cruz and blah, 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 blah. And I'm just like, dude, white people voted for a Cuban, not some Irish guy LARPing that he's Hispanic, and you're whiter than Ted Cruz. You're whiter than Beto. You're white. You are translucent.
But, hey, don't pick on Robert Francis O'Rourke. What a name. Oh, my God. But, they were picking on the Cuban guy because people didn't elect the white guy.
Yeah.
Right. It is all about...
Republicans are racist. They voted a Cuban.
Well, but now they're angry because they want to control how we vote. And if we don't...
Yes, they want the House and the Senate to be popular by popular vote.
That is
the one thing that needs to stop is the gerrymandering of the Senate.
Holy shit.
Those state lines every couple of years.
Oh my God, they're so dumb. Well, we won the popular vote in the Senate. No, you didn't. There's no such damn thing. Right. You didn't win a damn thing.
That's it. That's FOODOO, bonus foo. You stepped in FOOBAR, whatever we're going to call it. We'll get this all worked out.
No, we won't. We never do. We never organize, but we'll try.
We'll get it figured out by here.
We're so glad you hung out with us after we were done doing the other. We really appreciate you guys being with us, and you are our KLRN family, and we love being here with you every week, even though I talk shit at you in the chat, because you deserve it. We really enjoyed being here tonight. Thanks for putting up with us. We'll be back live next week, and we'll be doing the same thing.
Cornbread!